I think we're up and running. Hey guys, what's going on? Give me a second here to check my signals, make sure it's true that we're actually up and running. And we're going to do some game design today for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition using the 2024 Bastion mechanics that are in the DMG to create a style of campaign that revolves around Bastion turns as episodes in an ongoing campaign, kind of like West March style. Each Bastion turn presents a new opportunity for adventures for the characters to engage in that furthers the goals of the Bastion that the characters have control of as a collective group. The players have control over as a collective group, and the hirelings can be various sorts of characters that can be toggled to then run on an adventure that they might specialize in. So give me a second here to make sure my signal's up and running and that everything sounds good, and then we'll get to work. So everything sounds good. Then we'll get to sounds good. So give me a hot second here. It looks like I can have a bit more. My graphics card crashed out this morning, or something happened. I don't truly understand what the hell happened, but something happened, and it just absolutely wrecked my shit. Let's see, where is this at? Let's expand this a smidge. There. I'll bring that down a smidge. Yeah, that feels better. Okay, cool. There's that. Here's our book cover for the day. And well, that's not our book cover, but it's a cover anyway. Let's see. I'm supposed to be distracting you from the fact that I'm not working yet because I don't use a countdown timer and some stock music. So allow me to entertain you by saying, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them. I publish them online. And we're creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. I've been a DM since, since 1987. Yeah. And I've been a freelance illustrator since 1999. And I've been creating content for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, publishing on the DMsGuild since 2018. And I love 2024 mechanics. I think they make the DM's life a little bit easier. The monster calculator is better. It does a better job at codifying the DCs for targets, like how hide works and stuff. I think there's a lot of good stuff inside that book, and I like it. I'm a big fan. So. But I'm only so about the Bastion campaign system, the Bastion system. It doesn't provide enough opportunity. It doesn't provide any chances of failure. And I think there should be success and rewards in the things that players put effort into. To gamify it. It's a game. So I want to gamify the system, which is what we're doing with the Bastion campaign. So I think I've got everything set up the way that I want it to, and we should be back to square, looking good again. So let me fix my screen here, and then we'll get back to work and see that flip over. This should flip. I'm seeing this on the front. That shouldn't be on the front anymore. Oh wait, I'm in the past. Something screwed up and paused on my screen. That's why I'm not seeing the future. There we go. Cool. Okay, great. Just to sum things up, I stream 9 times per week, 5 times in the morning doing artwork. Mondays and Thursday nights like this doing game design, and then Tuesdays and Fridays at lunch, like tomorrow, I do game design as well. So if you think this stuff is cool, hey, new subscribers, thanks a lot, guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell icon for notifications when we're live in the future. Here's a bunch of books I've already created on the DMsGuild. They all have free previews. You can run entire campaigns with them. I do. So from level 1 to 20, they work at all levels of play. Check them out. If you think they're worth your time, consider making a purchase to encourage similar behavior. Here's my Discord community where we playtest the stuff that I publish. And here's the playtest document. Here's the full playlist of all 46 episodes so far, plus the 30 episodes of the 2014 version of this before Bastions became a thing in 2024. We were already moving in this direction, but I like the codification. I like how Bastions are codified. I just don't like that there's no success and failures. So that's what we're integrating. And if you want to play along today, this playtest document that I just clicked into will take you to a read-only Google Doc. It's the same Google Doc that we've been using throughout the series here. So for you, it'll be read-only, but it's all here. So we need to clean it up. It's a little sloppy still, but you can run the entire campaign this way. So hold on, let me go find, where am I at here? Make sure this is sitting pretty. Make sure you can read everything that's here before I proceed. Yeah, it's running off the edge a little bit for you. Okay, you're only getting most of the text. So let me actually, what I should probably do is bring that in a bit. How's that looking? It's better, but it's not great yet. Scoot this over. That should probably do it. Not quite. Let's give it another snooch. I'm still back in time. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Okay, now you can see the full document. But I mean, you're going to be reading along anyway. Just if you can't read something, just open up the document yourself and check it out. So, we've restructured ranks, rank 1 to 5, for increasing the power and the resources of your Bastion to do stuff. We've codified facilities. How large does a facility need to be, depending on how many resources you put into it? Bastion points. The bonuses that you get from gaining ranks. We're going to, facilities, orders, and features. This is becoming outdated, but here's the list of different facilities as exists. This orders list here is redundant now. We don't need that. We don't need to worry about this at all right now, but I'm going to delete stuff later. But then here's each unique facility. The properties are broken down into facility benefits, downtime activities, and orders. So if you have a facility that offers facility benefits, this generally improves the functions of your Bastion as a whole, or provides some sort of ongoing benefit to the Bastion. Downtime activities are things that your characters can do while they're at the Bastion during their turn instead of taking an adventure. And then orders are things that the Bastion can do independently, whether your characters are there or not. I'm going to rearrange my seat so I can sit pretty here. The formatting of this is that you get 3 benefit. You get three effects, regardless if it's one, whether it's one order, like 3 different orders, or it's 1 downtime activity, 1 order, 1 facility benefits, or like 2 downtime activities and an order, or a facility benefit, or it could be 3 facility benefits that you can't issue any orders to, or have any downtime activity of any mechanical consequence spending time in that facility. So there's a variable there, but regardless, there's always 3 benefits. And like in this example, the Arcane Study, it has 2 basic orders and a unique order. So all it has is orders. It doesn't have any facility benefits. Doesn't provide any particular benefits for spending downtime activity inside the Arcane Study. But there is a task. There is 1 downtime activity that's universal that I don't need to list here as unique. And that downtime activity is if you can issue an order to a facility as a downtime activity, your character can perform that order instead themselves personally. And when they do, they gain they add the bonuses that the facility gives to the Bastion gets added to the character directly. So the character gets basically like bardic inspiration ramping on the result of your ability check. So like if your character wanted to research a unique spell, then the character would like roll Arcana, like knowledge Arcana check, right? And depending on the degree of success, is like if they're trying to target a 3rd level spell they're trying to create, it would only be a DC 15. They would roll their ability check and then add whatever bonuses the Bastion, this facility would then provide to the Bastion. You add on to your character's ability score check. There's a lot of them. I think we have 33 of them built in here. The ones that are going to be of interest to us today specifically is government, which isn't necessarily the best title. But what is a government? And this is in relation to settlements. So I'm going to go over here to the Bastion campaign. I'm going to drop down here to government. So we have this queued up because you need to have a governing body to oversee a settlement. And settlements is basically a unique type of facility. But I don't think we have settlements listed as a facility currently. Storehouse, stables, spy network, smithy, scriptorium. Yeah, this is where let's do this. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. This is going to be settlement. Facility benefits. You can harvest materials. You can harvest materials. Maybe let's see. Facility benefits. Multiple bastions can be built and maintained independently within a settlement. And then orders would be harvest equals, you can issue the harvest order to acquire animal, mineral, and plant materials. And I don't know what the other benefit is yet. It might be a downtime activity. It might be another facility benefit. It could just be another order of some sort. I'm not necessarily sure what that's going to be, but it's going to be something. 2, 3. So we'll figure it out. Let's leave that there for now. But settlement is a facility. So the way this is structured is the way that we're doing settlements is that normally a bastion is there's rooms and areas inside the bastion that you can then issue orders to your hirelings to perform whatever. Like in an archive, you can like arcane study, you can research spells. In a scriptorium, you can create maps and scrolls and duplicate books. Like in a stables, you can train domesticated animals or like riding horses and stuff like that. Like that's what you can do, but they're inside that space. Settlements are different in that the settlement is larger than the bastion. The bastion exists inside of the settlement, and for the bastion to be able to issue orders to the settlement as a whole, you need to have a government to be able to govern the people that are in the settlement. Multiple bastions can be built and maintained independently within a settlement. Bastions attract creatures and NPCs to become citizens of the settlement, growing with ranks. As detailed in the settlements section below. As detailed in the settlements section below. There we go. There's your 3 benefits. That was easy. That was easy. Yeah. To harvest, you have to have a settlement to harvest materials, generally to harvest materials from. You have to have fields to get plants. You have to have herds or colonies. Excuse me. To harvest animal materials, you need to have a mine or some sort of... Yeah, generally it's going to be a mine for you to be able to harvest mineral materials from the environment. So government and settlements. Looking at the governments is when issuing the trade order to acquire materials or non-magical items, you can roll an additional Bastion die. That's a basic facility benefit. And then unique facility benefits is you can govern a settlement of a rank equal to, you can govern a settlement of a rank equal to up to the rank of the government as detailed in the settlement section below. Hey, Steve, it's good to see you, man. How you doing? And then downtime activity, a character that spends a Bastion turn of downtime activity using this facility, and that the term government is awfully ubiquitous there. So a character that spends a Bastion turn of downtime activity, basically governing, gains advantage on all charisma checks with citizens of this. Is it citizens or is it residents? Residents. To become residents of the settlement. All right, so that's the basic frame for the settlement facility and the government's facility. So if you're Bastion, here's the nice thing about that. When you have a settlement, it allows you to, as it says here, multiple bastions can be built and maintained independently or collectively, independently or collectively within a settlement as detailed in the settlement section below. So once you, it's kind of a chicken or an egg. If you find a plot of land that you want to build into a settlement, you would start putting Bastion points to declare a Bastion, and you would need to start with the government so that you can basically utilize the land. So government is just the framework we use. So like if you had if you had an estate on an apple orchard, for example, and you got thousands of apple trees, and you just have like this plantation mansion thing. Like, so you have a mansion, and that mansion, it would have bedrooms and kitchens and all the mundane stuff that it would have. But it would also have like maybe a study or like a library or whatever, and you have your security force for the mansion, which could be like the barracks. But then you would also have an area inside that mansion, like where you're keeping all the documentation of your orchard, how the produce is moving, who you're doing trade relations with in and out of the orchard, and that's basically what the government is. Also, tracking who are residents in the settlement as well. So it's basically a document sort of storehouse thing. So, excuse me while I rearrange myself in my chair yet again. Something is out of place in my back. Oh, sternum pop is good. So that's the government, that's the settlement, but we're actually going to, as stated, we're going to go down and build a separate section on settlements altogether. So we have downtime activities, we have how facility benefits work, we have the downtime activities and how those work, and then we have orders and how issuing orders works. Here's all our generic orders. Actually, that's a good point. Let's go over to this page here and tool down to basic orders. Not bad, Kearney. Harvest. You can gather materials for crafting non-magical items or empowering magic items. A bastion must be located on a settlement capable of harvesting the desired material to be issued the harvest order this way. There are 3 types of materials that can be harvested: animals, minerals, and plants. See Appendix A below for the list of materials required to create any item. To create an item. The value of the material harvested is limited by the rank and size of the settlement the harvest order is issued to. Settlement rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A value of items that can be crafted from the materials. The value of the materials harvested. Let's see. The value of items that can be crafted or empowered by the materials harvested is limited by the rank and size of the settlement. By the rank of the settlement harvesting the material. So rank 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Value of items. Rarity of... value, rarity, order DC. Okay, that jives so far. Settlement rank is the size of the settlement where the materials can be easily harvested, where the materials can be easily harvested, can be harvested as detailed in settlements below. If the settlement is a lower rank than the value or rarity of material required, a bastion test is required to determine if the material is available. If the settlement... No, that's not right. Let's go with... a bastion test, the bastion test, value of item, maximum value of the non-magical item crafted, rarity. as detailed below. Order DC. If the material needed for harvesting is deemed by the DM to be particularly exotic, or if the amount needed may be difficult for the Bastion to provide. No, I'm going to get rid of that altogether. When issuing an order to harvest material from the settlement, roll a Bastion check. With the DC as listed for the value or rarity of material required, comma, up to the rank of the, up to the settlement's rank. Period. If the result is below the listed DC, a complication occurs and the Bastion cannot provide the required material until the complication is resolved. Let's go with duration of harvest. Let's go with what, a week? Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. We're going to step around the idea that like okra only grows a certain time of year. This is going to the narrative of this is that you're growing enough okra that you can provide it throughout the course of the year, even though it might grow only during a certain time. You're able to harvest all of it and stockpile it so that you have it available. That's the benefit of the storehouse, which is a facility that helps guarantee that if material should be available, like if you can provide that material, it's there. And let's actually go down to the storehouse. It's like right down here. Let's actually go take a look at that real quick. This is going to go all the way down to franchises and settlements. Let's take this down to storehouse. When issuing a craft order to create non-magical items, you can roll an additional Bastion die. When issuing a harvest order to acquire any type of materials, you can roll an additional Bastion die. When you can issue the trade order to have any type of material or non-magical items delivered to this facility. So this is basically, do you grow okra in the settlement? Yes, I do. Do you have okra available for me to use? I make the Bastion die check. If I just have a settlement, then I'm going to roll like say D20 plus D6 plus 2. But if I have a storehouse, I can roll 2 6-sided dice plus 2 plus a D20. So I'm more, and then keep the best result. So I'm more likely to succeed at having okra on hand because I've already harvested it. You harvest I guess that's a bit of a misnomer, in that you aren't issuing the order to attempt to harvest. You're more like issuing the order to see if you can harvest it here. Is the material already on? Have we already harvested that material and it's available for you to extract, so you can do whatever it is that you need? So it's kind of, yeah, that's a little bit of a reversal there. So let's I'm gonna start breaking this shit down. So governorship, government. Let's just like we did with combat, we're just going to go through. I think I need to add more depth to sabotage, because we can have conversations about doing reputation sabotage, like against individuals with renown and stuff like that. I might actually hold off on that until the Ravnica supplement. That might be a good place to explore that, because characters gain renown in Ravnica, and the renown correlates to your rank. Your rank and renown in a guild corresponds to the rank of Bastion that the guild gives to you to govern, or to command, as a benefit, as a perk for having rank in the guild. They start to give you more responsibilities. So like if you're, like, say, playing House Dimir and you gain 2nd rank in House Dimir, one of the benefits that you get is you now have a safe house, and you run that operation, and you can install any facilities that you want. It's your safe house. Run it the way that you want. But occasionally, like, you might have Dimir operatives drop in to hide. So you can build out your facility any way that you want, blah, blah, blah. And as you continue gaining rank, you get more Bastion points provided to you from the guild as a reward for your services to the guild. So they give you more and more responsibilities that convert into progressing the Bastion campaign, the Bastion in your campaign. So I really like that. Like in Theros, where you have piety, as your characters gain piety and gain ranks of devotion to the gods that you're pietist with, then you would be able to start having a congregation that follows you as hirelings, basically. And your Bastion then is representing the influence that you have on your congregation and what they're willing to donate or lend aid in producing. It's like, what's that? The Joan of Arc needs new armor. I would be honored to produce that honor for her. And then, so you have a smithy shop and an armory, and they work together to build new plate mail armor and enchant it with, like, say, a bless spell for Joan of Arc to wear, as an example. Like, that would be an example of devotion. So the piety system can work that way. And in Strixhaven, there is no renowned piety system in Strixhaven, so we created one already separately. It's called credits, because you're in college. So you gain credits in Strixhaven, and as you acquire school credits, you graduate into higher ranks as a higher ranked scholar. And again, those points get converted directly into being in your college. So as you grow in your scholarly learning in the college of Strixhaven that you're devoted to, you get more and more resources available for you to, like, perform experiments or put on theater performances or whatever. And these are all framed around the idea of you having, like, finals and exams, and, like, they have the exam system. Well, exams can occur every Bastion turn, and in this system you could have a Bastion turn every quarter, or like every semester. It would effectively, like, potentially be a Bastion turn that you could spread out, or you could still run it on a weekly basis, where every week of school something weird happens, you got to deal with it. Or you could back off and have your Bastion turn last one semester. So you have multiple, you have 2 semesters per year, so Bastion turns would come much more slowly in that sort of format. There you go. So that's the idea there. So you have to have a government to be able to assume control of a community. Issuing the maintain orders to the government. Franchising. Franchises are different. Franchises are when you settlements are locations where your Bastion is located at. And again, the settlement itself is a facility. But franchising is when you're governing other bastions that aren't necessarily linked to a settlement. So you could have, like, your government. Like, you could be the governor of a settlement, and one of the benefits of the settlement is it can have multiple bastions. Well, you could franchise those multiple bastions so that you have not only the resources gaining out of whatever bastion controls the government, but you could also have all these satellite bastions, like this is a stronghold that helps protect the western border of our settlement. This is the operations for the mining facility that we run. So you could have mining as a harvesting operation in the settlement in general, but instead of having the government bureau be wrapped up in the operations of mining, you could allow, as governor, you could allow a mining like a mining guild, to move in and handle the daily operations of what's going on with the mine. So they would develop the workshop and the laboratory and the storehouse for the, say, gold mine or iron mine or whatever, to be able to run that operation. And that mining guild would be under the governance of the ruling bastion. That's the ruler of the settlement as well. That's the idea there. And then we have the actual settlements themselves, which is the structure and size of them. 5 ranks. Here's your 5 sizes of settlement. Hamlets have up to a population of 100. Villages have a population up to 1,000. Towns up to 10,000. Cities up to 100,000. Anything that's more than 100,000 is going to be considered a metropolis. And the area radius of the settlement is, again, based on the size of the settlement, which is 2 miles, 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, and more than 100 miles. I don't know if I necessarily like that scale. Gold is referring to the amount of gold the settlement can absorb from adventuring per day. So like if your characters come in from a dungeon and you have a shitload of gold that you want to do something with and process it, like say convert it into magic items or something, then the amount of gold that you're handling is going to be throttled by the size of the settlement that you're trying to disperse the wealth. And then you have the magic items or consumable items that can be found in the facility, in the settlement. So hamlets don't really have permanentized magic items, but you could like find healing potions or like antitoxins and stuff like that. Maybe some holy water if there's a priest at the hamlet. But then as you gain rank, common, uncommon, rare. Let's just go with let's do rarity instead. I don't like how that's stilting. There we go. Orders, rarity, orders. The number of orders that you can issue. The die, growth rate, week, season, year. So if you're attempting to increase, like if you're, when you're adding bastion points to your settlement, it's also its growth rate is limited by its rank. So adding more resources, adding more ranks to a settlement takes this is the amount of time that it takes to grow its size, to naturally grow the population that's inside the settlement. It takes a lot of time to do it. This might be a little, let's go with week, month. Yeah, let's go with week, month, season, and then once we get to the city level, let's go with year. So when you're adding, we'll figure that out. There's a disconnect here. I can sense it, but I'm not going to burden you with it right now. Rarity equals the rarity of magic items, non-magic items, that can be obtained at the settlement. Orders, the number of orders you can issue to a settlement at any time. Default is maintain lifestyle and harvest materials. Thank you, timely timer. Die is the maximum Bastion die rolled when expending resources to issue an order. I don't need a die because that's folded into the Bastion itself, so that's irrelevant. Growth rate equals frequency of attempting to gain one resource using a maintain order. Oh, that's it. How growth rate equals how frequently you can add a rank to the settlement. Week, month, season, year, and a year. That means it'll only take a couple years for you to be able to build up and this is just trying. Growth rate is trying to increase. So settlement is weird. To increase the rank of a settlement, the governing bastion must be of the desired rank. The bastion would already be that rank because then you add it in. To increase the rank of a settlement, the governing bastion must make a bastion, must pass a bastion test to increase rank. To increase the rank of a bastion of a settlement, the governing bastion must pass a bastion test to increase rank. Failure. A success requires the listed. Failure means the complication but resolving the complication does automatically doesn't result in success. The rank will not increase until the bastion succeeds the test. And you can only make for the city and metropolis, you can only make the test once per year. I can get rid of the die here because that's no longer necessary. So if you have a 5th rank bastion that's trying to grow a settlement from nothing, it'll be really easy to actually growth rate and DC. We actually need the DC here. DC 10, super easy to increase a hamlet. 15, 20, 25. But damn near impossible to convert to grow a city into a metropolis. You can take over an existing settlement by replacing which bastion controls the government, which is either sabotage or siege as a conflict. And once you get usurped, you then have to wage your own sabotage or siege to retake it. Otherwise, it just works like normal conflict systems. Growth rate and DC. DC equals the target number to increase the size to increase the rank of the settlement, increasing the population bop, 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 bop. Something like that. Cascade of sovereignty, character, team, bastion, settlements, territory, world, wild space, system, and then planar. Size of settlement, maximum population. This seems redundant. And then we get into armies. And armies are their own sort of bastion. You have to franchise an army as a bastion for it to be able to operate independently from the bastion that mustered the army, to send them forth with enough supplies and support to be able to march on whatever location the army is heading to. So that's technically a franchise. And then bastion conflicts, sieges, and sabotage. That's why I had armies here at the end, because once you have an army, you can siege another bastion. That's why that's structured that way. So this is all the language that we have for settlement so far. I'm pretty happy with that I'm pretty happy with the bones of it, but again, we're here to add structure. So let's see. Franchising and settlements. Maybe we need to change that to governing, franchises, and settlements. There, we'll do it like that. And redundant. This is unnecessary, but I'm just being OCD right now. Let's see. Governing when a bastion. Let's see. It's not installs. It's what's the word that we use for adding adding a facility. When a bastion adds a government. When a bastion adds a government to its facilities, it can issue commands to other it gains control of other bastions. It can gain control of other bastions franchises and communities. Settlements. So we'll separate between what are franchises, what are settlements. We don't actually need to... Oh, wait. This is the way to word it. Hold on. There, franchising and governing settlements. So when a bastion adds a government to its facilities, it can gain control of other bastions and communities. And attract creatures and NPCs to populate the surrounding regions, settlements. There, I think that makes sense offhand. Franchises and settlements. Settlements, let's see. Franchises, settlements. Is it really that simple? Jesus, I think it is. Thinking things through. Let's see. A bastion can command franchises are separate bastions that the governing bastion can issue orders to. As though similar to how characters can issue orders to their own bastion. The rank of bastion that can be governed this way is equal to or less than the rank of the governing bastion. The governing bastion doesn't use need to expend any doesn't need to expend any orders of its own orders to issue orders to a franchise. That's not good words. The rank of the bastion can go this way is equal to or less than the rank of the governing bastion. A governing bastion must sustain a number of bastion points equal to the rank of the franchised bastion to remain in command of it. And the governing bastion doesn't need to expend any of its own orders to issue orders to a franchise. Period. I don't need that up right now. Thank you. Period. So if I want to have a fifth rank, if my fifth rank Bastion wants to franchise a second rank Bastion, either nearby or wherever, it doesn't matter. It has to sustain 2 Bastion points to retain control of that franchise. If those points go away, the franchise potentially breaks free and becomes independent of the Bastion, of the governing Bastion, and then the governing Bastion has to regain control. If a governing Bastion loses control of the franchise, orders must be issued to regain command, rank, DC. I bet you know what the DC for these are going to be, right? 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, like usual. Failing the roll creates a complication, preventing the governing Bastion from re-establishing control. Period. The rank of a Bastion that can be governed in this way is equal to or less than the rank of the government facility within the governing Bastion. The rank of a franchised Bastion is equal to cannot must be equal to or less than the rank of the government facility within the rank of the government facility within the governing Bastion. If the franchise rank increases beyond the rank of the governing Bastion, it becomes an independent rival. So you can sabotage a governing Bastion to deplete its ability you can sabotage the points invested to sustain a franchise, and thus causing the franchise to become independent. You could do this as like a revolution act to break free from a tyranny government, or it could be enemies that are sabotaging you to deplete you of your allies, to turn your allies against you. There's a number of different ways you can spin it that way. I suspect there's more methods, more narratives, but we'll find them. And most of this, the framework on this is pretty loose. It's really easy. It's just ability checks, and just like in regular, just like with the characters, when you're making an ability check, you're framing reference for why you're making the ability check and why does that ability check make sense. Similarly, when you're issuing an order to sabotage a facility or a settlement, you're framing. You're creating a reference, a frame for like, why are you sabotaging that? Like, what does that mean? The mechanics, like it could be a friendly venture or a friendly departure, but if it was really that friendly, the governing franchise would just simply stop sustaining points to govern that facility, to govern that franchise. If the governing Bastion is unwilling to relinquish the points that are sustaining their command over the franchise, and the franchise attempts to break free anyway, they would then need to siege or sabotage the governing Bastion as a revolt or a cessation, a cessation or a revolt. So those are the ideas there. Failing that role creates a complication, preventing the governing Bastion from reestablishing control. Resolving. If a governing Bastion loses control of the franchise, orders must be issued to regain. There we go. Rank, DC, and then Bastion points. No, the Bastion points are redundant because we already know that you can sustain them. How are we doing on time? It's only 7:12. We're doing good. I am absolutely done by 9 o'clock. Ideally, I'll be done sooner, but my time limit tonight is 7 p.m. 9 p.m. So we might be able to crack through these mechanics by then. It's looking like we can. Settlements. Settlements are special facilities settlements are treated are the governing Bastion can settlements are populated locations that are a governing Bastion that are special settlements are populated locations that are considered to be a facility of the governing Bastion. There can be only one governing Bastion for in a settlement. If there are rival bastions with government facilities in the same settlement those that are not in command must siege or sabotage the current commanding bastion, the current governing bastion. Must siege or sabotage the current governing bastion to gain command of the shared settlement. Let's see. Settlements with materials that can settlements with the general order to harvest materials. The desired material must be present in the settlement to be harvested, determined by the DM. As determined by the DM. The rank. Size of a settlement is determined by the rank. Maybe we should do it that way. The size of the settlement indicates the rank of a settlement reflects the total, the population, the total population, the total population of adults. The rank of the settlement reflects the total the maximum population. The rank of the settlement determines the maximum population of determines its maximum population. The rank of a settlement determines its maximum population. As indicated on the table below. Points, rank. Steve, is this making sense so far? I'm thinking any bastion can occupy 1 mile radius. I like that. 1 mile radius, 10 mile radius. like that. 1 mile, 10 miles, 50 miles, 100 miles, more than 100 miles. Like Waterdeep has an effective commerce reach of 200 miles. So that is definitely a metropolis. It doesn't have to be that large, but that's generally the size of it. Settlements can be issued in general order to harvest materials. Let's see. Settlements populated. There's only a governing area. The rank of a settlement determines its maximum occupancy. Blah blah blah. Let's go to settlements gain an additional order. Settlement orders. Let's do it. How do we do this? A governing bastion must issue for the settlement independently of itself. Oh, this is relevant. Growth rate and yeah, DC. DC is relevant. No. Hold on. Using the Bastion die for the rank of the settlement. Maintain equals. A governing bastion must maintain a lifestyle for the settlement independently of the bastion, using the Bastion die of the rank of the settlement. This result, this lifestyle, can be sustained as above, as detailed above, similar to sustaining a lifestyle for a bastion. But contrary to bastions, the level of lifestyle sustained for the settlement is the maximum level of lifestyle that can be attained in the settlement, as opposed, whereas the lifestyle sustained for a Bastion provides that lifestyle for its occupants. For example, the Lords of Waterdeep have taken extreme. For example, the Lords of Waterdeep have built a robust economy that allows anyone to attain an aristocratic lifestyle, but doesn't guarantee it for anyone. Five Bastion points. Sustaining 5 Bastion points to allow any Bastion within the settlement to achieve an aristocratic lifestyle, but the Bastion must there, easy enough. You can have it, but you got to earn it yourself. Let's see. Contrarily, a first rank hamlet cannot provide the resources and luxury, cannot provide the quality and variety of goods and services to sustain a lifestyle above. What's the max rank that I can roll? It's D20 plus D4 plus 1. That could be a 25, which could be a wealthy lifestyle. Contrarily, a first rank hamlet cannot provide the quality and variety of goods and services to sustain a lifestyle above wealthy, requiring the Bastion test to roll a natural 20 and a 4 on the Bastion die. On average, an average hamlet rolling an 11 and a 2 10.5 and 2.5 on the Bastion die. An average Hamlet, an average roll is 10.5 and 2.5, that's 13, plus 1 equals 13. The average Hamlet can only offer a poor lifestyle. For its residents. While an average roll of a village is 10.5 and 3.5 on the Bastion die, plus 2 equals 16. The average Hamlet can sustain a modest lifestyle. Let's just continue through just to see the math. I think this is fun to do, just to see how the math breaks down. An average roll of a second rank town is 10.5 and 4.5 on the Bastion die, plus 3 equals 1518. The average town also sustains a modest lifestyle. Rank city is 10.5 and 5.5 on the Bastion die, plus 4 equals 16, 20. Equals 20. The average city can sustain a comfortable average roll of a 5th rank metropolis is 10.5 and 6.5 on the Bastion die, plus 5 equals 17, 22. The average metropolis also sustains a comfortable lifestyle. Poor, modest, modest, comfortable, comfortable. By sustaining. By expending 2 Bastion points, Bastion points, Bastion points, Bastion points. Every time it can only sustain a poor lifestyle for its residents for a week at a time, and cannot expend points to sustain it. Growth rate, let's see, duration. Month. Season. Month, season, year, and then once you hit the 5th rank, perpetual. Settlement orders. Governing body, governing bastion must maintain a lifestyle for the settlement independently of the bastion itself. Using the bastion die for the rank of the settlement as listed above. The lifestyle can be sustained as detailed above for a bastion by expending points for the it can be sustained in the settlement, whereas the lifestyle sustained for a bastion provides that lifestyle for its occupants.